Hi, welcome back. I'm Jenny.
I'm Nicole.
And today we have a different kind of tapping for you. We were talking before this and we thought, why don't we focus on the positive? Because so often we focus on the negative, which for good reason. We have to process the negative to get to the positive because really we're tapping into the wisdom of the body, to the subconscious, and it knows when we're not telling the truth. We can't really say much that, our body doesn't know we're lying about. So, that being said, today we're going to go through a natural progression of a real experience that Nicole had, and take it from where she was prior to the experience and how she now feels about it, and tap how she now feels about it into the subconscious. And so we're showing you this because so often we because you come into therapy, not that this is therapy, but you come into therapy or you come into a tapping session and you're wholly focused on processing the things that are uncomfortable,
Mhm.
which completely makes sense and should be done. And at
Yes.
the same time, often the spotlight doesn't ever get shown on the things that we're proud of and the things that we've worked through
hmm
and the things that now we've progressed past.
Yes.
So I don't
And
know. I know you,
sometimes,
yeah, you have a
well,
lot
and
to add on.
sometimes, like, even if people do have a moment of like, oh, that felt good, that's all it is. It's a quick moment. Like, there's not many sentences that come after that because we're not used to those celebrations. But when we think about something that feels uncomfortable, sentence after sentence after sentence, no problem, right? So it's even if we have a moment of, oh, wow, that was great, those moments don't last as long. And then we don't build that body memory.
And the thing is, those moments are what we actually want for our lives. Those moments of feeling good and feeling
hmm
like things came easy or working through a really big challenge, and feeling proud of ourselves, those are the moments we want to live into and we want to create expansion of in our own lives. So
hmm
by recognizing them and giving them their own tapping sequence, we are then saying to the body, like, this is safe. This
Yeah.
is where I want to live.
Yes.
Because I think what happens over time, if you're so used to feeling some level of unsafety in the body, which can be anxiety or overwhelm or just like, physical symptoms or shortness of breath, things like that, that becomes the norm.
hmm
And so by doing these more positive rounds in recognition of what we actually feel proud of or what we actually feel good about, we can then say to the body, it is safe to exist here
Yes.
and we can have more of this,
Yes. Doesn't
right?
that sound so nice? That's
It
so
does.
great.
It does. It does. It feels
Yes.
good even just saying that. Okay,
And also,
so
wait, just one more thing. And also, this is something else that from childhood, not everyone gets this message from childhood. I'm so proud of you. You showed up, or any of those messages. So then as adults, it's so much harder that we have to figure out how to reparent those parts that didn't hear that because we are allowed to feel proud. And, with tapping, it also teaches people that it's okay to feel the positive shift of something.
mhm, that's a good point. If it wasn't reinforced as a child, which
Mhm,
oftentimes it's not for whatever reason, and it's more, the focus was more on what you could have done better or what went wrong or what was the mistake, and that was what the reinforcement that we got,
mhm.
then of course it makes sense that we
Yes,
wouldn't focus on the things that feel good when we're older. So
yes, absolutely.
okay, so we did chat about this beforehand, but why don't you express like exactly kind of what you went through this week, and then we'll go through it in some tapping sequences.
Okay. So I had an in-person tapping workshop with actual, people coming to see me. And I, since COVID, have only been doing things online. And I mean, this goes far back. So I had to give this presentation. I do not enjoy giving presentations. It's not something that I'm comfortable with. When I was in college, I used to drop the class if it said presentation in the syllabus. Like I have told this narrative to myself for a long time that I really hate and feel very uncomfortable speaking in public. However, tapping is something I feel so passionate about, so strong about that when I first learned about tapping, I envisioned myself giving workshops and doing this very thing that I am so scared of. So I was lucky enough to have this opportunity to do this presentation, and I was scared. And I tapped and tapped and tapped, and I was really petrified. I kept creating the story of being scared and excited. Like excited was in there, but the focus was on the fear of it. And that was it. I just felt really scared. Up until driving there, I was really nervous and um and I did it. And it was awesome. It was such a great experience. And I felt very proud of myself for after it was over. I felt good. I felt confident. I felt all the opposites of going in.
It's funny. It does. It happens immediately too. After you get through something hard, you're like, oh, why did I feel that way?
Yes.
But then that in itself is a like kind of a self-judgment too. Okay, so let's start on and this is what you had said to me before, and which is even though I created so many intrusive thoughts, I sat in fear and anxiety. Even driving there, I cried, and then I was really mad that I react this way.
Yes.
We'll start with that.
Yes, that is very true. I got myself into such a tizzy. I cried, and then I got mad at myself for reacting that way instead of showing up with excitement. So yes, that felt very true.
Okay. Okay, good. I just want to make sure to use your words. And so again, we're going to start where Nicole was, and
Yes.
we're going to acknowledge and accept those emotions because they may still be in there. They may have lost a little bit of their strength, but they are there and we want to accept and acknowledge them. And then we're going to eventually, you'll see over the course of the shift into how she's feeling now.
Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, take a breath and release. Side of hand. Even though I created so many intrusive thoughts,
Even though I created so many intrusive thoughts,
I sat in fear and anxiety.
I sat in fear and anxiety.
Even driving there, I cried.
Even driving there, I cried.
And then I was really mad I react this way.
And then I was really mad I reacted this way.
I accept myself and how I feel.
I accept myself and how I feel.
Switch hands. Even though I created so many intrusive thoughts,
Even though I created so many intrusive
I
thoughts,
sat in fear and anxiety.
I sat in fear and anxiety.
Even driving there, I cried.
Even driving there, I cried.
And then I was really mad I react this way.
And then I was really mad I react this way.
I accept myself and how I feel.
I accept myself and how I feel.
Switch back. Even though I created so many intrusive thoughts,
Even though I created so many intrusive thoughts,
I sat in fear and anxiety.
I sat in fear and anxiety.
Even driving there, I cried.
Even driving there, I cried.
And then I was really mad I react this way.
And then I was really mad I react this way.
I hate that I react this way.
I hate that I react this way.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And I accept myself and how I feel.
And stay there and take a breath. And release. Eyebrows. I created so many intrusive thoughts.
I've created so many intrusive thoughts.
Side of eyes. I sat in fear and anxiety.
I sat in fear and anxiety.
Under your eyes. Even driving there, I cried.
Even driving there, I cried.
Under your nose. I hate that I react this way.
I hate that I react this way.
Under your mouth. I created so many intrusive thoughts.
I created so many intrusive thoughts.
Collarbone. I sat in fear and anxiety.
I sat in fear and anxiety.
Under your arm. Even driving there, I cried.
Even driving there, I cried.
Top of head. And then I was really mad I react this way.
And then I was really mad I react this way.
And I am ready to bring healing to this.
And I'm ready to bring healing to this.
And take a breath. And release.
I actually really love that one. I really do. That was really good. I'm going to remember this one because
Now
that,
you have a video.
yes, because that felt so true to my core
Yeah.
and how I show up to so many things. not just something, anything that causes me anxiety. That is exactly the very thing that happens. I create all of these intrusive thoughts, and then I make them feel so true. And then I get mad at myself for reacting that way and not allowing myself to just show up for the excitement. And so I was, and I don't usually tap with my eyes closed. So I had my eyes closed. I wanted to try that. So I felt myself just smiling a little bit because yes, that is the theme of my life for how what I bring with me when I go places. Like that's in the passenger seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've given all of that just such a nice little home.
So, knowing that that's like a core belief, something that spans all the things,
Hmm.
this is a really good situation to tap on because this will spider out and generalize into all of those other things that you end up showing up the same way in.
Hmm. Yes. And I have presentations and workshops coming up that I will be, um, putting myself through. And I'm hoping that with, again, each time it just becomes a little easier and the excitement shows up more than the nerves and fear. Boy, that would be nice.
Okay, let's go there. So, how about we go to um even though that felt true to my core, I create
Mm.
all these intrusive thoughts and then I get mad, I react this way. I don't let myself enjoy the experience. I'm hoping each time it becomes easier and the excitement shows up more than the nerves and fear.
Oh yeah. Oh, right there. Yes.
So in session, just so you know, a practitioner would most likely, since Nicole held her throat and said that's where I feel it, then that would be woven in. But for this particular one, we're going to focus on the feelings,
Yep.
and not the body sensation. But that is a really great place to go next if you're
Hmm.
feeling it in the body.
Yes.
So do you want that to be the acceptance phrase? I'm hoping each time it becomes easier.
I'm open to each time.
Okay.
Um, it getting easier.
All right. Hopefully I can read my handwriting. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, take a breath and release. Side of hand. Even though that felt true to my core,
Even though that felt true to my core,
I create all these intrusive thoughts,
I create all these intrusive
and
thoughts.
then I get mad, I react this way.
And then I get mad, I react this way.
I don't let myself enjoy the experience.
I don't let myself enjoy the experience.
I'm open to each time it getting easier
I'm open to each time it getting easier.
and the excitement showing up more than the nerves and fear.
And the excitement showing up more than the nerves and fear.
Switch hands. Even though that felt true to my core,
Even though that felt true to my core,
I create all these intrusive thoughts,
I create all of these intrusive thoughts.
and then I get mad, I react this way.
And then I get mad, I react this way.
I don't let myself enjoy the experience.
I don't let myself enjoy the experience.
I'm open to each time it getting easier
I'm open to each time it getting easier.
and the excitement showing up more than the nerves and fear.
And the excitement showing up more than the nerves and fear.
Switch back. Even though that felt true to my core,
Even though that felt true to my core,
I create all these intrusive thoughts.
I create all these intrusive
And
thoughts.
then I get mad, I react this way.
And then I get mad, I react this way.
I don't let myself enjoy the experience.
I don't let myself enjoy the experience.
I'm open to each time it getting easier
I'm open to each time it getting easier.
and the excitement showing up more than the nerves and fear.
And the excitement showing up more than the nerves and fear.
And take a breath and release. Eyebrows. That felt true to my core.
That felt true to my core.
set of eyes. I create all these intrusive thoughts
I create all these intrusive thoughts,
under your eyes, and then I get mad I react this way.
and then I get mad, I react this way.
Under your nose, I don't let myself enjoy the experience.
I don't let myself enjoy the experience,
Under your mouth, but I'm open to each time it getting easier.
but I'm open to each time it getting easier.
Collarbone, I'm open to excitement showing up more than nerves and fear.
I'm open to excitement showing up more than nerves and fear.
Under your arm, I'm open to each time it getting easier.
I'm open to each time it getting easier.
Top of head, I'm open to excitement showing up more than nerves and fear.
I'm open to excitement showing up more than nerves and fear.
And I'm ready to bring healing to this.
And I'm ready to bring healing to this.
And take a breath and release.
Really, so amazing. I love tapping. You and I have been tapping for maybe 5 years. We've started, and it's amazing that there are still shifts that could happen, still things still realizations that come.
Oh, yeah,
And I just appreciate having tapping so much
me too.
because this conversation could be 6 sessions in therapy
Yes.
to have to wait for a week to come back to it, and then other things come up, so just to be able to focus on one thing, follow it, tap along, and then just be able to clear it. Like, I really feel like this is clearing something that has been with me for a really long time.
And as a therapist, is that what you see in your sessions
Mhm.
where when people don't want to use tapping and rely on, cognitive behavioral therapy or just talk therapy? Is that what you see, that things don't get cleared quite as fast?
Yes. And personally also, I was in,
Right.
cognitive behavioral therapy
Yeah,
for
me too.
years and years and
Mhm.
years. And I was still talking about the same regrets. And I was still talking, and then I'd have a new therapist and I'd still come back to that stuff. Because as we know, it lives in the body. And even though the brain is rational saying why all of the things, it's the
It's
inner
tricky.
child and the
It's
inner
tricky. Yeah.
teen that hold on to all the stuff.
And the brain can really talk us in and out of everything. And
Yes.
what's interesting, what I've noticed, I don't know, I mean, I know a little foundation of the scientific, reason behind this, but there's been so many times that I have worked and worked and worked through things in my brain prior to finding tapping, but I kept having the same reactions. And through this work, I've learned how much it really is stored in the body, because
Mhm.
it's a physiological response that I'm having that's causing the thoughts and the reactions that then come out, the behaviors or whatever it is. And
Yes.
so having this, even in tandem with therapy, where the therapy does the talking and
Yes.
you have a practitioner doing the tapping with whatever comes out during therapy, that's helpful too.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, because it is a combination. It is talking and tapping. There is,
Yes. Yes.
so yes, and I have evidence of working with clients who I no longer see anymore. Because once you really tap on all of the things, there isn't anything really left to
Right.
talk about.
It's just
And
maintenance, kind of like,
yes.
yeah, it's things that come up. You do it
Hmm.
as you need. Yeah. Okay, so let's shift for the third round into well, I guess, how are you feeling now, or after tapping on those two rounds?
Um,
I don't want to bypass anything.
no, I feel great. I feel um I feel great to be working on this because, again, I said I have, you know,
Yeah.
workshops coming up that I have to lead, and I really want to show up differently than I showed up the other day. I don't want to show up like that anymore. And saying it, I don't want to, that's what people we'd avoid it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then the thing comes and you notice, oh, I'm doing all those things again. So I really want to, I just want to show up differently.
Okay. So then how are you feeling about this, how you did show up? Even though you were
Mm.
feeling that way leading into it, how are you feeling about how you did show up, how it went, all of those things?
Um, I I feel so proud of myself for how successful it went. And also, one of the intrusive fears that I had actually did come true, where I had a hard time getting the projector matching and my laptop connecting. And like there was a whole technological debacle, which was my fear. And it happened. And I'm so proud of myself for that not being my focus. I was still able to pivot and the presentation worked. Everything worked out fine. And I'm what I'm most proud of, this is the most that I'm proud of, is that I was present the whole time. It did not feel like an out of body experience.
Okay. All right. Let's go there next.
Okay.
And just to explain, if a client in session will say, and not that we expect, people watching to take themselves through all of this, but if you're tapping on something just by yourself and you were feeling one way, and then you just get this feeling, like either people have described it as it just leaving the body, or you're not really focused on me, or you have a different thought about that situation, that
Mhm.
is information that needs to be tapped into the subconscious. So
Yeah.
in this particular case, Nicole, started out, we were focusing on the things and leading into the session, how she was feeling, all those negative emotions. And what we look for is for that to automatically shift, not
Mhm.
from me as the practitioner, not from you as the practitioner when you're doing it. It's happening intrinsically because that is a true emotional, physiological shift that you're having around the thing that once created danger inside for you.
Mhm.
So in this particular instance, we're going to use the wording, the truth is, and
Yeah.
that is saying, even though I felt this way,
Mhm.
the truth is, and this is what follows that is what we're tapping into the body, to the subconscious. And that is what we're going to hope expands as Nicole continues to do this, or as you continue, like as if you're tapping on something and that happens and you tap that in, you want to expand that feeling,
Mhm.
the truth,
Yes.
right? Okay. So how about something like, even though I felt so much fear and anxiety, the truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up for myself, how present I was the whole time, and how successful it went.
Yes. That was awesome.
Okay. All right. Take a breath and release. Side of hand. Even though I felt so much fear and anxiety,
Even though I felt so much fear and anxiety.
the truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up,
The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up,
how I was present the whole time,
how I was present the whole time,
and how successful it was.
and how successful it was.
Switch hands. Even though I felt so much fear and anxiety,
Even though I felt so much fear and anxiety.
the truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up,
The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up,
how present I was the whole time,
how present I was the whole time,
and how successful it was.
and how successful it was.
Switch back. Even though I felt so much fear and anxiety,
Even though I felt so much fear and anxiety.
the truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up,
The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up,
how I was present the whole time,
how I was present the whole time,
and how successful it was.
and how successful it was.
And take a breath and release. Eyebrows. I felt so much fear and anxiety.
I felt so much fear and anxiety.
Side of eyes. The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up.
The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up.
Under your eyes. The truth is, I'm so proud of how present I was the whole time.
The truth is, I'm so proud of how present I was the whole time.
Under your nose. The truth is, I'm so proud of how successful it was.
The truth is, I'm so proud of how successful it was.
Under your mouth. The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up.
The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up.
Collarbone. The truth is, I'm so proud of how present I was the whole time.
The truth is, I'm so proud of how present I was the whole time.
Under your arm. The truth is, I'm so proud of how successful it went.
The truth is, I'm so proud of how successful it went.
Top of head. The truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up,
Truth is, I'm so proud of how I showed up.
how present I was the whole time,
How present I was the whole time.
and how successful it was.
and how successful it was.
And take a breath and release.
Oh, that's so awesome. Really. That's just what I kept thinking. It feels so, was thinking this feels so good, and I really can't wait to see it in practice,
Hmm.
because it'll be such a good test after this next workshop that I do to be able to come back and see, because that's data. Like this is the
Yes,
data we get to collect.
yes,
This is the
yes.
test that happens to see, you know, the truth of it. So I'm excited. We'll see.
And that's a good point. It's a good place to wrap this up is I think we often miscalculate how the process looks and how it is a practice. The
Mhm.
process is a practice. And so it doesn't mean you're going to be completely perfect with no
Mhm.
anxiety the next time you do this. But each time you tap on it, you take the data from whatever happened this time and you tap on it, you process those things, and then you go back again and you get different data, or maybe
Mhm.
it shifted and
Yeah.
that's new data. So I just want to really drive that home because especially now in society, it's like, well, how fast is this going to work? And everyone wants the magic button. And sometimes the magic button is just hit it. You have to hit it many times. You have
Yep.
to, because this is pattern thinking.
Mhm.
This is a patterned way of being up until this point. And so we're forming we're not only processing the old patterns, but we're forming new patterns at the same time, which
Yep.
is a process. It's a practice.
Yes.
So I just want to
Absolutely.
honor that. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes.
And
Thank you for tapping with me.
yeah, that was great. And hopefully you all got something out of this. And as always, you can comment below and let us know if what your thoughts are, what your feedback is, if you would like us to focus on any particular issue. And or you could email us at tapforoemotionalfreedom@gmail.com. I
Yes.
don't know why I can't get that. All right, so we'll see you next time.
Yep. We'll see you next time.